What's up, folks? Uh, what's up, folks? Welcome to another edition of the Blue-Black Attack Deal with It podcast. Welcome, D Money. How you doing today, sir?
How we doing, my brother Panther Pickle? And how's my blue and black attack family on this beautiful Monday evening?
I think we're all right. Diesel Skills, how you doing today, sir? Jake, what's up, brother?
Big
What's up,
Jake,
y'all? What's up, man? Yep, I finally got moved, y'all. I still got a bunch of
that's what I'm
unpacking to
talking
do.
about.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
man, I'm loving it.
Yes, sir. Y'all, this episode is about simply the Carolina Panthers fans, organizations need to move on. I've always said I love the 4-3 defense. I love the power run game. That'll never go away. But we cannot keep thinking we're going to win the Super Bowl by just running the football and playing a 4-3 defense. We've got to develop, grow ourselves as a fan base. We have to do this because we have no choice in it. We really don't. It's time to develop and grow. And, if Brad Izzett comes in and he wants to spread that ball out and throw that ball down the field, I hope he's successful, and I will not argue and downplay it because I want to run the football. That's a negative fan that does that. I love Luke Kuechly. I love Cam Newton. But them boys should remember fondly and in the past. Let's move forward with who we have, what we have, and what the future beholds. Too many,
Absolutely.
yes, sir. Too many. My feeling is too many of our fellow fans are living in. I want him to be exactly like Cam Newton. I want him to be like Steve Smith. I want him to be like Luke Kuechly. We need to go get Julius Peppers. We need to bring Cam out of retirement. Luke needs to put on that jersey again. Those days are done and over with, folks. Let's move on. And real quick to throw the thing off kilter, Dexter Lawrence, a alum of Clemson, asked for a trade from the Giants. A lot of folks are screaming we should go trade for him, give him a big fat new contract like he liked just to bring him here. What's y'all's opinion on that?
Okay, so I don't want to sound too skeptical or pessimistic or whatever. But when everybody and their grandma gets asked for a trade or they get released or whatever, the first term that I always see is Panther. That's the first
Mm-hmm.
thing everybody, and I know a lot of guys be joking or they would just be hopeful to have that guy. And I really think it's one of them situations like that. I think if Dan and them had really wanted to go for Dexter Lawrence, they would have done it already. Not even with him asking for that trade, because we already knew that for the last 2 seasons, Dexter Lawrence either wanted his money, or he wanted to go somewhere where somebody would give him his money. So we already knew that that relationship was already stressed. So Dan Morgan and his people, I'm pretty sure they knew that that relationship was stressed. And if they would have wanted to make that investment, they would have already been kicking the tires, and there probably wouldn't even been talks about he wants a trade. The trade would have just happened, and then we would have been talking about it. But necessarily, I know everybody wants to keep fortifying that edge. But when you talk about that, we got Jalen Phillips now, and added some more to that defensive line and that rotation. Yeah, it would be a great in a dream world to have a Dexter Lawrence, but I think we got the tools in the building right now to be successful on our defensive line, to be truthful.
Yeah, and Jake, what's your opinion on that?
Well, coming from the fan base perspective, I would say if it was up to me, if I was a GM, forget about it. Deal's already
Yeah,
done. Forget about it.
The-
Forget about it. He's already here. He's already here.
Look at old Jake leaning back in his chair. He already up.
Oh yeah. No, I'm feeling good,
He
bro.
done sent the paper in. He ain't even the GM. He done sent it in.
It's already sent.
um, y'all
But
remember Dexter Lawrence next season turns 30 years old.
yeah,
His cap hit is 28.9. This year, his cap hit is 26.9. He says he need more money.
I'm not worried about his production dropping off because of his age, though. He's like Miles Garrett to me. Like he's in that, that level of stardom of, being
Hmm.
a game wrecker on any
Right,
given Sunday, any given game
right,
day. That I'm not worried about him approaching 30. I think he's going to be one of those guys that play well into the mid 30s and production not fall off.
right,
Uh, but yeah, I mean, we're not getting him. Like even when I
right,
shared that, like I'm like, we as being a realist, we ain't getting him, man. We've
right.
already had
Exactly.
we already had our sexiness, so to speak, when it came to uh our boys that we signed for Jalen Phillips and Devin Lloyd. Like that was our icing on the cake, so to speak. We ain't getting Dexter Lawrence.
Right, and y'all got to think. We got to think. We've got 2.2 million in cap space.
Yeah,
2.2. We may. I believe they've already have the rookies allotment set aside. But for us to sign anybody else or re-sign anybody, we're gonna have to make some money to do that. So
yeah,
I don't. I think our realm of trading for players is like out of here.
yeah.
I
I,
mean,
I'm not worried about us making money. We can get more money. I mean, I don't think that's an issue whatsoever. But I just think the way that Dan wants to build this team is like he's relying on the draft more so than anything. He don't mind spending money in Frazier every once in a while, but that you really want to be one of those teams that could just survive off of just drafting and just get one or two players and free agency to add
mhm.
to their team and still be the great and continue to be that way.
And then also, you wouldn't put that money into Dexter Lawrence unless you had some kind of commitment that he wanted to be there long term, in
Right,
my opinion. So if there's not a thing where it's saying like, hey, this trade happens, I'm willing to go ahead and sign an extension and so forth, it would be a waste of time anyway, in my opinion, for like a 1 year rental or something of that nature. And Pickle, if you can give me just a second of the floor, uh,
hmm, go
since I
ahead.
am at work, I'm about to dip out. But your how you titled this and how you had put that description on Twitter about this show tonight, I
Yeah,
couldn't
please give your
help
opinion.
but come on. And the reason why is because, like, for one, I'm probably the most bipolar when it comes to this fan base because I love every single one of y'all from the bottom of my heart. But boy, y'all can burn my biscuits in the same breath. We have the some that lean in the heyday, and I can be honest and admit that nostalgia. Oh, it always gets me and it catches me or whatever. And I think about the days of yesteryear and the enjoyment and everything I had watching this team and so forth. But when we look at not even just the NFL, we look at pro sports, even down to college sports at this point. The landscape is gradually changing yearly. And it comes to a point that, like, yeah, we want the ground and pound and the tough nose and all that. That's not even really how the game is played no more. The
Right,
referees and so forth and the rules have taken a lot of how we play out of the equation. So now if it means that we've got to bring in the younger guys who have been playing under this new age of football and can thrive and be successful in it and can take training and take development, that's the route that we have to go.
right.
But
I
as a
agree.
fan base, we have to resemble some kind of patience. Now, mind you, we have had success in the past, but we have
Right,
not won a Super Bowl. We have not had anything that was considered a dynasty that we should just be holding on the way we're holding on of yesterday of Cam's MVPs and smash and dash and the vaunted defenses that we had. Those are always going to be great things, but like anything, there's always time to make your new history and start a new history. and bring in a new era of football. And that's why I've been so excited and have been a supporter of Dave Canellis and Dan Morgan and Brad Tillis and them, because I felt that not just establishing a culture, but a new era of Panther football that us as fans, commentators, and so forth can be proud of. And so far, they've checked off the boxes. We made a playoff appearance when nobody had us penciled in to make a playoff appearance. We fought for the division when nobody gave us a chance to fight for the division. And with all that said being done, with 70% of the fan base not believing in the quarterback, with 70% of the fan base not believing in our defensive coordinator, and probably 45 to 55% of the fan base that was upset at the play calling of Dave Canales. But at the end of the day, they put the blinders on, they muted out the noise, and they focused on the job. Now, us as fans, I'm not going to tell you to put blinders on, because you have a right to what you see, to comment on it, and you'll always be open to have that comment. But I do ask, as far as when it comes to this Panther fan base, the process, and the work that these guys are putting in, that we show some level of patience. And I know that you're like, oh, I've been waiting since so and so. It's been so long. There's a lot of franchises that have been in poverty a lot longer than the rough spot that the Carolina Panthers had. So, with that, I say, I love every single one of y'all. I'm excited for the draft. I'm excited for everything coming down the line from OTAs and everything else. There's going to be a buku of content coming from the Blue and Black Attack. Pickle, like you catch him on Mondays. The Cole Show on Thursdays. You got the Invaders with the Jake the Snake. You got the Brotherhood edition. And when we got such great fans as Mike Dub, Panther Gal, and so many that support us, you just keep tuning in to the Blue and Black Attack, because we're going to address it from every end. Anything that's going on with these Carolina Panthers. And if you need some great analysis, you need a great take, just deal with it and go holler at Panther Pickle. And if you ain't with us now, you ain't welcome to the parade.
Amen, brother.
Keep pounding.
Keep
Keep
pounding.
pounding, D Money.
Keep pounding. D-Money's 100% right. Yeah, and that goes for myself. Sometimes you have to have patience. When you see a football game and it don't always go the way you want it to go, sometimes as a fan, you have to say, I'm out. Give me 5. Give me 10 minutes. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. I got to process this stuff. And wait a little bit. Because sometimes your first reaction ain't your best reaction. Brother Jake, what do you think?
I mean, this. I'm probably going to go completely off topic right here, but I want to mention this right quick before I forget about it. Uh, right now, we're in such a good spot as a franchise. I mean, upwards, I should say. I mean, we're coming
Yeah.
off of a playoff experience, which we haven't had in 7 years. Ultimately, we lost, but we're building this team. Like our defensive coordinator, Evero. I mean, I don't care how you feel him. I've had my feelings about him as well, but he more than proved himself last year, making his defense go from worst to at least middle of the pack. Um, and then you got Bryce Young. Bryce Young's coming off of his best season. I mean, I know there's still a lot more to ask out of Bryce Young, but I mean, he's another improvement. The one criticism I had of last year was Dave Canales' play calling at times. And look, they corrected that. Brad Isaac's going to have the reins now at play calling. And, we had an unbelievable free agency so far. We got a draft. We got 7 picks to look forward to as well. I mean, the future really is bright for this team, man. I'm glad that we're at where we're at right now, the franchise looking forward.
Yeah, absolutely. We're in a good spot. I just want I, I, I just I just want people to understand change is coming. Change is here. And just cause we always been one way don't mean we always gonna be that way. You know? Sometimes change is good. Sometimes players have to go through the fire to get to the top. And that's exactly the truth of it. Y'all think Steve Smith was not he didn't show up being a third round pick and all of a sudden became, oh yeah, great, number one wide receiver. No, he had to go through some fire to get there. Greg Olson, he wasn't always as good tight end as he was when he got here. He had to go to a few years of hell with the Chicago Bears before he became who he was here. Uh, we fans have to let these players develop, and we need to stop judging these players off of 1 or 2 years. There used to be a saying: if you were great your rookie year, you were going to have a sophomore slump, and then your third year showed you. So, uh, we as a fan base need to remember that. Sometimes a rookie year, even if they have a great rookie year, don't mean that's the player they're going to be. If they have a slumpy sophomore season, don't mean that's how it's going to be. Give these folks time to develop and understand who they are. And if you make a coaching change or a coordinator change in the middle of all that, everything gets pushed back again. Patience and let these folks develop.
Yeah, I had to learn that way too, Pickle. Like I'm at the time when it comes to a lot of these rookie guys that I gotta give them at least 3 years, Pickle. Like
Right,
really to really evaluate them, you gotta give them 3 years because I don't care. You could draft 7 people, not all of them are gonna be starters for one thing. Most of the time, you do not want that to happen. You don't want to draft 7 people and then have later rounders starting for you. Uh, but you just got to get these guys to develop, man. Everybody, some people, they pick up the NFL professional football a lot faster than some other players. They're not always like that, but you just got to give them time. You got to let these coaches develop them.
Man, this gets the wheels turning right there. That makes me think about Jonathan Brooks when you say that. That's what it really makes me think about. You know what I mean? He's had a rough
right,
go to start, a real rough go. But he's got a chance this year to really bring it in, bring it home, and
right.
show all the Panthers fans what he can really do. And the way Jake was talking, that's immediately where I went. And you were 100% right with your analogy to Steve Smith. I mean, we're talking about a guy that should be in the Hall of Fame. You know, the wide receivers are just backlogged. The guy that won a triple crown for a team 28,
Right.
28th in the league. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Steve Smith won the Triple Crown. He should have already been in the Hall of Fame, but the backlog that the NFL Hall of Fame has, it just presents that. But I feel that one day he will be in the Hall of Fame. I really truly do. Um, y-
Yeah, it's not a matter of if with Steve Smith. It's a matter of when. He's going to get in the Hall of Fame.
right, exactly. And not to change the subject, but the Panthers are brought in Haynes King, quarterback Haynes King from Georgia Tech for 30 visit, as well as a defensive tackle. A lot of the top guys in the draft they haven't brought in for 30 visits, and a lot of people are wanting to know why. Well, maybe because they don't need to. Maybe they're using these 30 visits to talk to somebody that they don't know that they like that they want to know more about. I mean, it's not hard to find out the stuff about the guys that are getting all the attention, you know? Welcome, Cole.
What up? How's it going, boys?
What's up? We're talking a little bit about developing as a fan base, how we fans need to move on from some of our past, understand we need to move on. Just because it worked that way 5 years ago don't mean it's going to work that way now.
They
You
brought in
know,
a couple quarterbacks, right, Pickle?
I know, yeah, they brought in two quarterbacks I know of. The first one I never heard of. This one I have.
Oh yeah, we talked about him, Haynes King.
Right.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind using the 6th round pick to draft him. I would even mind, depending on how they look at it. I wouldn't mind drafting him in the 5th round, the 2nd pick. Man, I think it's high
Now,
for him. I think
now
it's
I got to
very
be
that's definitely high for him. I
right.
wouldn't I
Right.
wouldn't draft him any higher than that round wise.
Well, Diesel Skills be screaming. He's undrafted. We'll take him undrafted.
Hey, that's what you prefer.
UDFA,
You
sir.
want that to happen.
UDFA.
You want that to happen. But some of them guys,
But
man,
the
having
Falcons
a
are
good
also
combine
looking
or a
at him.
pro day.
The Falcons have also looking at him closely. So the Falcons brought him in today, as we did, to look at him and chat with him. So,
I
or
mean,
he's visiting the Falcons.
just look at the Falcons quarterback room. They're bringing everybody in. I probably got a meeting with them next week. I'm gonna turn them down to Pickle.
I'm going in on Tuesday, Jacob.
It depends. Are they? What they giving me? What are they giving me?
I don't know. If you got Kirk Cousins' agent, they giving you everything.
I was
All
going
you
to say,
need
if
is
you
Kirk
do end up
Cousins.
starting for him, Jake, just make sure you throw it to the guys in blue.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Shout out to Kyle at 910 Panther fan. Says Haynes will be a late pick. I bet they just wanted a better look at him. Exactly. And that's what they want to use the 30-day visit for. If they start bringing a lot of these different 30-day visits to the guys in the first round, then they already know what they need to know from them guys. They're not going to find out much different. So it makes a lot of sense not to use the 30-day visits on a guy. And that don't mean to say a week before the draft or 2 weeks before. Well, 2 weeks is almost now. A week before the draft, they pull somebody out and do that. It's just what you see. So I believe there's going to be 2 quarterbacks taken in the first round of this year's draft. Yeah, I think there's going to be 2, maybe 3 safeties drafted in the first round.
I know there's people out there saying too that they're like,
What's the time last on that subject?
What's the point of paying attention to these visits? Well, a lot of times the reason why people pay attention to the visits is because they usually draft those people, at least a good amount of them, or people that they've had at least multiple visits with.
Oh, were you up there?
Yeah, we're here.
All right.
For now, we'll see how long. I had to cut some things off. I should be good now.
All right. Okay. But a lot of it varies. Some of the things that I've chatted with today, it's mainly NFL stuff. DJ Moore. Some of the rumors have leaked out that one NFL executive reported by rumors, NFL rumors stated that the Bills or DJ Moore was expected to be cut before the Bills gave up a second round pick for him. My opinion is that's quoting one NFL executive. My opinion is that's probably put out by an NFL executive who got their feelings hurt because DJ Moore wasn't going to come to their crappy team. So, just my opinion. Yeah, I use the Browns. You're a Browns fan. You don't like it, deal with it, Buttercup. Yeah, Kyle. I believe Ty Simpson's going to be drafted in the first round. He may even go before our pick to the Jets. The Jets may get big and draft him with the 16th pick, overall pick.
Isn't that reaching really bad for the Jets when they?
Yeah, but it's about normal for the Jets though. But at the same time, I've heard the Rams also like him quite a bit, and the Rams are drafting late. The Rams are drafting later, and it's going to be a push in to see who gets him first. And I think I may be wrong entirely on them taking him with the 16th, but it wouldn't shock me if they don't. If a team doesn't either take him early or attempt to trade back into the first round late to take him so they can get that 5th-year option on him. Just an opinion, mind you. Uh, but yeah, I think that um, yeah, the Panthers have had some uh 30 visits, uh, but um, the 30 fits are with an offensive lineman or with two offensive linemen, two defensive linemen, two tight ends, a wide receiver, two quarterbacks, a running back, and a safety. So um, it's really hard to judge where our drafts are going. And of the ones they've had a 30 visits on, only one of them, which is Omar Cooper Jr., could be selected in the first round. Jake, what would you tell us about Omar Cooper Jr., brother?
Oh, dude, he's a baller, man. I watched him at Indiana. I know a lot of people are thinking there's no way he's going to go in the first round, but that hype is it's possible. But he's definitely going to go early in the second. I mean, the dude's a slot wide receiver who can also play outside. He's a willing blocker. I mean, he's only 6 foot, I think 190 or somewhere around that area. But he has speed. He's not a 4-3 guy, but he's probably about a 4-4, 4-5 guy, maybe 4-5 guy. But he has NFL speed. He has enough speed to break away, but the dude he would be an instant vertical threat for us in our offense. I mean, that is really our missing piece as a slot wide receiver that we've been needing for years now. I would love to have Omar Cooper Jr. I love that dude. He's a baller.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And listen, it's possible. Jake, a while back at a luncheon at the elders meeting, Canales was quoted as saying that that they wouldn't draft a guy just to be depth. You know what that tells me? If they were drafting Omar Cooper in the first round, he ain't just going to show up and be depth. Okay, um, he's going to show up, and they would give him an opportunity, and he has to present himself. He has to show up for camps, show up for preseason. He has to demand the ball, be consecutive on his routes, really show out to them that, hey, I could do this right now. So much so that he could push Xavier Leggett for that third job, or even push Jalen Coker for that number 2 job. That's what I think he was meaning. If they draft a tackle, this tackle or this offensive lineman will have the ability, if he performs good enough, to take a job of a starter. I think that's what Canales was saying. I don't think Canales was trying to hint that they wouldn't be interested in a person or a player or a position. I think he's saying that if we draft a guy in the first round and he performs up to par, he'll start over a vested rookie, a vested veteran. And I'm all for that.
If we draft a wide receiver at pick 9, he is instantly wide receiver 3. He's instantly wide receiver 3. He just is at pick 19, and he is probably fighting Jalen Coker for that number 2 spot on the wide receiver depth. The only person that he's not going to overcome is T Mac, aka Nilo, aka Tedero McMillan. That's the only wide receiver we have on this roster
Right,
that would be above pick 19 as a wide receiver.
right, right. Hey, listen, I would absolutely love to bring in a guy, for example, at wide receiver, and he pushed T Mac for that number 1 job. That would be all right with me. Sure enough. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'd be happy about it if it did.
I mean, it's a good problem to have. I mean, really. I want. I've said this to y'all. Know this that I don't really care who it is at pick 19 position wise. I just want the best player at pick
Right,
19. That's all I care about.
right, right. I going over right now. Everywhere I've heard, they're talking about they're doing mocks, they're doing team mocks, and I'm kind of burned out of it. But it is what it is. It's that time of year. And I don't think any one position is going to override a different position per se as to say, oh, this is not our position. I'm not high on drafting a defensive lineman in the first round. That doesn't mean they're not going to do that. That just means I may not be high on it. So, uh, but all that being said, shout out to D Money. He says, I want Proctor. And hey, why wouldn't you? He's an excellent athlete, excellent tackle. Uh, so that being said, you know, if Proctor's the guy, hey, we should see him push Walker for the starting job, or maybe even Timote for the starting job.
Yeah, he's pushing
But
one of them, if not
right,
both of
but
them. I mean, really, not that's what it really say. He's pushing both of them,
right,
not just one of
but
them. Both of them.
yeah, and you never know. We as fans may say the swing tackle is a depth position. Canales may not see it that way. Canales may see the swing tackle as a starting job, what he consider a starting job. Our version of depth, it may not be what everybody else's version of depth is, what the coaching staff is. So, uh, and listen, it could exactly be corner. I wasn't long ago. People would ask Pickle, you're a Tennessee fan. What's these Tennessee's players like? And I'd scream, ain't nobody worth taking in the first round that's from the school of Tennessee. Hey, I might have been wrong, y'all. Uh, McCoy and Hood, them two corners, they look pretty nice. Both of them, I think Hood, McCoy has a little bit of an injury issue. So, but if you could override that, hey, listen, the Vikings might take Hood, might take McCoy over Thieneman, and Thieneman follows us to 19. It's possible. And Fanu is more of a right tackle, but I have heard that the Panthers think he can play left, but
I
he's
like
more
both
of
the
a right
tackles from
tackle.
Utah.
Yep.
But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if one of them top corners, if one of them fall to 19, that they picked that because you got to think that that was one position that we didn't tackle free agency was the nickel cornerback spot. Really, I mean, there's still a need at nickel corner. I mean, we got safeties that play big nickel that they get out there and play that spot, but like pure cornerback stance, we don't have
Mhm.
that guy on our roster.
Right, right. And you never know how that works out. A lot of these safeties, they can get to play big nick. They can play nickel. A lot of the and a lot of the corners itself, because if they take a corner at 19, that don't mean he's automatically depth. That means he's nickel. We play so much nickel now, it's almost a starting job. And uh, uh, Mike Jackson's contract expires after this season, and you just don't know how that works out. You absolutely don't know. So, we as a fan base, uh, I don't think we'd be too much disappointed if they took a corner at pick 19. Uh, but linebacker, I also don't think would be disappointed if they took a linebacker. A lot of folks would say it's too high for a linebacker, but you never know how that takes out. You don't never know how that really. If Dan wants to take a linebacker at pick 19, I'm not going to tell him it's a bad pick. Yes, Kyle, I agree. Hood would not be bad either. Uh, he can push for a. I believe he would step in and be an automatic starter at nickel if we took Hood at 19. Definitely. I think he would be an upgrade over Charles Smith Wade.
Hopefully, I'm clean here. Those cornerbacks is kind of the wild card to me. It seems like one of those could fall, and it could be what we end up drafting because it is BPA. Um,
Right.
it's not my favorite position of all of them, but I mean, I totally get it, and I totally see it. That if one fail that you didn't expect to be down there at 19, the Panthers could grab them for sure. We'd have a crazy
Right.
good secondary if we do that too. I'll tell you that.
Yes, sir, we would. You're 100% right. And Canales talked, or they talked about the defensive line making a little bit of changes to their lineup, so to speak, or and they mentioned the Rams, how the Rams lined up in a lot of four-man fronts. The Rams actually lined up in four-man fronts and very few three-man fronts. So they just didn't do that. And I would expect the Panthers themselves this coming season not to line up in any three-man formations at all. I think the base 3-4 is out, and I think we might as well call it per se to say we're a 4-3 under. I believe we'll be lining up in mostly four-man fronts, but that's to say when you line up two tackles, hypothetically say you have Derek Brown and either Bobby Brown or Trisha Wharton, either one. Then you have Nick Scorton on one and the other guy we signed in free agency, with my main Phillips, uh, in the other side. You don't know which one you're going to drop into coverage. That in itself is confusing to the defense. They don't know if you're going to draft your right guy or your left guy. So in the coverage, they have no idea of that, and that's going to continue to be the advantage of us here in Carolina. 4-2-5. We run mostly a 4-2-5 last year, so absolutely we did. That being said, when you can line up in a 4-2-5 and you bring an extra corner, you never know when instead you're going to bring an extra defensive line or an extra safety out. That extra safety very well could be a uh, guy that in a different landscape of the past might play linebacker. So that's highly possible.
Yeah, I say the main thing I really do like about Evero though is he does have so many different scheme looks, so to speak, when it comes to his defense, and he does adapt. The only one thing the criticism I have of him now is third downs. It'll be third and like four, where our cornerbacks are 10 yards back. That's the only thing I got against Evero.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not wrong.
I don't even know if that'll play to a strength this year as much as we've improved the linebackers. I think we can line up some in that 3-4. But I understand where you're coming from saying that the Rams didn't do it. I'm not disagreeing whatsoever. Now, the Rams had a way better defense than we did last year. So maybe it will be more that 4-2-5, like D Money is saying, like you're saying. I would have to agree. I would like for us to at least pick somebody up there though to create some competition. Cam Jackson, LeBron Ray, like we talked about a few weeks
Hmm.
ago. At least bring
Right,
somebody in through the draft. It doesn't have to be the number 19 pick for sure. You can wait. It
right.
doesn't have to even be a second round pick. Maybe if it's a third round guy, maybe there's a guy there they really like. We brought in a guy I thought they were looking at for nickel corner today. I can't remember his name, but I saw
Oh, the guy from Arizona.
but yeah, I assumed that they were bringing in maybe looking at him. Yeah, well, we were thinking of him fourth round, fifth round, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around
Mhm.
there.
Right.
Yeah, I like him. He's
Well,
got the measurables.
that tackle they brought in, that defensive tackle they brought in, I looked him up. He's a fourth or fifth round pick. That's fact. So,
Yeah, he's six
um,
three. He's a big guy too.
right, right. Yeah, he's 6'3", 320 some pounds, I think, or three something. This year in school, they advertised him at 323 pounds. So not, but I mean, at the combine, he might have weighed a little bit lighter. So.
Sounds pretty
So
big, bigger than Ray.
absolutely, absolutely. And he's a guy that's really good. Plus, I really think that we're developing future guys. Not saying that they can't play now, but you know, uh, um, shout out to Earl
Yeah,
says that JC needs to
they've long
stay
laid that plan.
on the right on the number one wide receiver. I I almost agree to that, but uh, listening to some of the vet offensive coordinators, coaches, a lot of them don't even really do that across the league anymore. When you take if JC lines up on their number one wide receiver every single play, it 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 pretty much tells everybody where everybody's going to be, and that's something they don't like. That's allowing the defense to control, or that's allowing their offense to control your defense, and I just don't think that's what they want. So,
No, I get that, and with the success that Mike Jack and J.C. Horn had last year, it's hard to even make the argument with him making the Pro Bowl 2 years in a row. You'd have to
right,
think that whatever, and having 2 games with 2 interceptions too, whatever they're doing is working. And like you're saying, they're not going to let the offense dictate to them what's happening on defense. They trust the guys on both sides of the corner position. So yeah, the
absolutely.
way they're playing, I'm fine with it right now. Mike Jack played his tail off. J.C. Horn two double interception games. He just needs to run one back for a pick six. That's all we need from J.C. It's got to happen this year, right?
Right, absolutely.
I mean, Mike Jack got a pick six before J.C. Horn did. Never would have guessed that.
Right, right, right.
He's got to take one
Mike,
to the house for us.
I'll be right
yeah,
back, y'all.
Mike Jack's pretty much stepped up to the plate this year, proved to the NFL that he belongs. So, if he has, and I expect him, he's kind of entering a contract year. So, Mike Jack enters a contract year this year. It may be harder to resign him for what you resigned him to before.
Well, you know that's
He may
right.
be, he may expect more, might get offered more. So drafting a corner relatively high might not be a bad idea for the long term.
It's something to think about, Pickle, because we don't know that he's going to take a team friendly deal to come back to Carolina.
Absolutely. He's not originally from Carolina. He likes
The man's
Carolina.
probably looking to get paid.
Right, exactly. But, somebody offers him a boatload of money, you can't blame the man for taking it.
Who are you talking about now? Mike Jack?
Yep.
Yeah, oh yeah. You got to think that he's what 29. This next deal that he's gonna get is probably gonna be his last real big contract. So I
Hmm.
definitely, it wouldn't surprise me if he wants to go somewhere else, especially if a team's offering him more money.
Right, right. And you rethink, not just to switch positions a little bit. Um, OTAs is coming up real soon, and Jonathan Brooks is supposed to be very active in those. Jonathan Brooks, between Jonathan Brooks and Dylan, um, they both come out lights on fire, right along with uh, what's the other running back we have? Uh, not Chuba,
ETN.
yeah, with ETN. Um, he used to say that Chuba finishes the year as a Carolina Panther. You know, uh, so you never know how these rosters are going to fall. You never know how the decision makers are going to fall or the game's going to play. Um, um, but you
I
know,
know. I know in all of our exercises we've done, like trying to trade back, it just seems like it's too risky. Like
Right.
you're aiming for a guy, you try to trade back, and daggum if they won't take them right before you go, and it happened. It's happened to us pretty consistently as we've tried to do that. And I initially liked that idea for Dan Morgan at 19. Like if he didn't, nobody felt that he
Right.
was looking to fall, just trade back. I guess I see that it.
Absolutely, you're not wrong. Uh,
It's just
but
it's too complicated, man. There's too many
yeah,
moving
it
parts, and
is.
you're going to end up.
And if everybody knows you're trading back just to get this one guy, a lot of these teams are going to work to make sure you don't get that guy. And you know, that's just how the NFL works. So, uh,
Yeah, I was glad that last year that we was really tight, so to speak, when it came to the locker. I mean, not the locker room, the draft room, so there wasn't no agent or somebody leaking who we was picking a day before. Supposedly, I know none of us had no clue who we was drafting because I mean we all was sold on the Jalen Walker outlook, and it was a whole 180, so to speak.
you're not lying. Uh, you're not lying. Uh, you probably won't get that kind of response for Panther Pickle this year as you got last year.
I hope not, Pickle.
I think we've done a good job of laying it out, spreading it around, like what Dan might
Right.
do, showing multiple
Yeah,
options.
absolutely, and it's easier. When you're drafting a top five pick, you're almost regulated to somebody in that top five. When you're picking at 19, you can kind of take a different people and so when you're in that situation, uh, when you're pick 19, somebody drops or some position that a guy in that area fits you very well, you can take you. It's kind of easier Pickens drafting at 19 than it is top five.
Yeah, I think at pick 19, it's almost hard to fall in love with somebody in the draft. I mean, we all find somebody that we really like, but when you're drafting at pick 19, more than likely that guy that you fall in love with that you want the Panthers to pick probably ain't going to be there. Unless you're drafting in the top 5, top 10, like you just said, like you usually know what few guys that you're going to be able to draft. But yeah, at pick 19, there's no telling who's going to fall, who you thought was for sure was going to be there at pick 19 went top 10 somehow. I mean, it happens every year. Some kind of craziness happens.
I'm here
Right.
for it too. I know we know those names. We really do. We know those top 19 prospects. So one of them falls, and we're going to be screaming Dan and screaming for Dan to get them.
Absolutely. I just need somebody to send me Dan Morgan's X account so I can start sending him messages. I'm gonna need you to trade up get Sonny Styles if he falls at the top 10.
Panther gal, behave. Ralph. Uh, listen at you. Uh,
Wreck It Ralph.
John was my grandfather's name. I'm definitely not a Ralph. But y'all shout out to Stephon Gilmore on his retirement after 13 seasons in the NFL.
Yeah, definitely shout out to him, dude. He was a great player and a great person as well. So just a solid overall dude, man, for real. And congrats to him and on to whatever he does after football.
Probably going to make some money. Is what he's going to do. I'm sure he'll start a business if he didn't already have one.
Right.
Right. Do y'all think Stephon Gilmore had a Hall of Fame career?
No.
You don't think so? Deez, what about you?
I mean,
I don't think so. I hadn't looked into it
yeah,
that closely. I don't think so.
yeah, I haven't either. I don't think so. When he signed here, I looked into it, and I don't think he had a Hall of Fame career.
Let's see.
The main achievement was a Super Bowl MVP, was it not?
Yeah.
Right.
And not only that, I was just wondering how many years did he play? Pickle, I think he said
13.
13.
I mean, if you made the Pro Bowl like 7, 8 times, then yeah,
Let me
could be.
see. Uh,
Keyshawn James Newby is a pass rusher from New Mexico that the Panthers have had formal interviewed in a meeting with.
uh, he's a 5-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All Pro first team, and he was a Defensive Player of the Year as well in 2019.
Yeah, D Money says he gets in.
Yeah, I
D
think
Money
he's
says he
getting in.
goes.
I think he's getting in. I agree. I agree. I agree 100%.
Defensive Player of the Year hits different.
Yeah,
I
well,
didn't
not
have
like
that
that.
off the top of my head.
He played 13 years. He played longer than I thought he did. That like when I was told that, yeah, he was. I mean, he was pretty much a shutdown corner his whole career. I mean, he had some bad spots with the Cowboys, but not many.
Next year our first round pick is going to be real harder. Next year we're going to draft pick 32. Stephon Bailey said we're going to draft pick
Oh, yeah,
32
we're getting a
next year.
Super Bowl. Shit,
Oh, and that
sign
kind
me
of
up with that.
attitude. I
Yeah, I
love
do
that kind of
too.
attitude.
That would mean we was going. That would mean back-to-back Super Bowl champs because the year after that, I think it's Atlanta, right? Ain't it in
Right.
Georgia?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Bryce never loses in the Atlanta Dome.
Hey, give me back-to-back Super Bowl champions with Bryce Young. He be getting a
Uh,
fat ass. He be getting a fat ass contract then. I
oh
tell you
boy,
what.
hey, people be slobbering the name then.
And I know one thing. I don't care how much the amount would be, Pickle. I'd be like, I guarantee Brad Till's made a hell of a contract.
Yeah. Gimbo says short people, short is a blessing. Being short's a blessing, ain't it, Gimbo? Oh, never mind.
I'm not even against
Brothers
Sadiq
in the
at this
refrigerator.
point. Like, if we draft him, we draft him. I'm not gonna be mad about it. I just hope they use him. I hope they
Yeah, I,
use the tight end room a lot more than just blocking
I,
in
I
in its offense.
right. I have heard folks compare Sadiq to Tommy Tremble. Not Tommy Tremble as a name, just a guy who does what Tommy does, but he doesn't necessarily do it better. And I don't really watch. I haven't watched Sadiq play a lot, so I'm not trying to be overly critical. Again, as I said before, and I think Jake alliterated to it. I haven't seen him use the tight end enough to scream we have to draft the tight end. I just haven't seen it. Like you said, if we draft him, I truly hope we use him the correct way, not just a block and an occasional pass.
That's me. I just don't want them to waste that on a player they're not going to use. You know what I
Right.
mean? If
Yes.
they draft Sadiq, he better catch for a bunch of yards next season. I mean, I'm expecting
Yes.
minimum 600. Minimum 600.
And
And
five
I'm fine
tutties.
with it too. Just like Jake said, if they draft him, I'm totally fine with it. 100%. Just make sure you get him the damn football. That's an athlete right there. Don't be using him just a chip block all the time.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. You're drafting
Right.
him to be a weapon on your
Right.
offense. You got to use him that way. But you sure, absolutely, you're going to use him to block. I mean, you're just going to, but You got to use him as a weapon threat. You got to have him in offense. You got to get the ball to him. You got to get him to create for others. I mean, like Nilo, it'll open up his uh, play, look, just overall feel of the game. It'll open up his offense. I mean, that's just you just got to use him right. Because if you don't use him right, then it'll be basically a failure as a draft pick as a rookie. Because you're not going to give him a chance that
Right.
he needs to have.
Man, if this Panthers team did bring in Sadiq and used him like we're talking about, and Excel had a revival in his career where he does better and he gets right, woo! You talk about aerial assault from Bryce. We'd be something else.
You're right. Jake, let me ask y'all something. It's pick 19, draft day. Panthers are on the clock. Your phone rings and Dan Morgan's on the phone, and he says, we looking at Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver from Arizona State, and Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon, are both available. Which one do you think we should take?
I'm going to say Tyson. And you just got to hope he stays healthy, though.
Who was the other one you said?
Sadiq, the tight end, or Jordan Tyson from Arizona State.
Arizona State, yeah. And I'm going for Tyson because of his impact. Like I would think he's especially how we use our wide receivers. He's an instant impact.
I'm with D Money. I was going to say Sadiq, and it's just because I think maybe XL does make a comeback this year. The stuff that we've seen so far from this offseason, spending time with Chad Johnson, things like that. So it being his third year just gives him a chance, even more of a chance, in my opinion, to play him better this season and pushing Coker a little bit.
That's a good answer. Glancing at this mock draft by the Athletic, it's a horrible. I mean, it's I can't even describe how bad it is, y'all.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
It's just ugly.
Who made it? You said it's the Athletic?
It's just the Athletic. They got us taking the right tackle from Clemson with their first pick.
It ain't Joe Person, is it? That's over the article.
No.
I'm about to say.
Joe does his own mock. He commented about it on Twitter. He said, Panther fans, don't go look at that. That was bad. But our second pick is a tight end that I never heard of, which is not surprising. Oh, Nick Bumgarner wrote this. Our third pick is the offensive guard.
It's an offensive guard.
Right. This one has us taking Blake Miller. Jordan Tyson goes at 20, pick 21, goes to the Steelers. Michael Levins, a wide receiver from USC, goes to the Browns at pick 24. Emmanuel Nick Warren goes to the Bears at 25. The Buffalo Bills at 26 take Jacob Rodriguez.
I'm telling y'all right now, y'all want to see somebody go crazy on draft night. If they pick Jacob Rodriguez at pick 19, y'all might need to mute me because y'all eardrums are gonna be bleeding from me screaming.
We take Ellie Stowers, a tight end from Vanderbilt, on the 51 pick.
That sounds like an awful pick for the Panthers. Horrible.
Right. And then at pick 83, we take Jalen Farmer, a guard from Kentucky.
We need to stay away from Kentucky.
And then at pick 86, at pick 86, the Los Angeles Chargers take Jake Slaughter. We take a guard over a true center. This dude don't even watch. Don't had no idea what the Panthers are doing.
No, and
He was just clicking buttons.
This
that's all
dude an
right.
idiot. I'll call him what it is. He an idiot. You wait. I'm gonna tell Joe. I tell Nick Bumgarner. I say he is a dumbass. Tell
Just
him
get
he
the
needs
word
any
out
help. Tell him he needs any help doing his next draft. Ask.
Tell him that he needs to watch at least 6 Panther games in order for him to even comment on our team.
I'm gonna do that right now.
At least a third of the season. Don't do it right
Yeah.
now. I'm gonna be mad if the Falcons grab my quarterback, Haynes King. That was my idea. I don't like the Falcons stealing my idea.
So see,
At
that's why
all.
we need to draft him. We need to draft him before they do.
I don't think they're going to. Well, I don't know. They might. I mean, look at their quarterback room. They really might. They'll just take anybody over there.
Yeah, the more I think about it, man, I would really think it'd be a surprise if he gets drafted before the 6th round. I'm with you, Deez. You almost want him to go undrafted, man.
Yeah, we keep seeing like 240 and stuff like that on his projections or whatever it is, and that's way down there. So there's no reason why he should be drafted in case a team is just reaching
Yeah.
for him. I don't want to as a gadget player, not as a starting quarterback. Right. We trust in Bryce over here. We're not throwing no shade, guys.
Now, Panther Gal, I see that. Don't tell Cody I said no Panther. Cody watches this show. Now, he gonna see that. And Cody,
No
well,
Clemson.
you'll see Cody back on the computer before the draft, and you can tell him all about it.
Oh, you don't got to worry about that. You get that's a safe bet. You can take that to the bank. We ain't drafting no Clemson Tiger.
Yeah, we might, but it might not be the one that you're thinking. Yeah, if you had your pick of a Clemson Tiger in the draft, in this whole draft, who would it be?
Honestly,
Peter Woods
yeah,
ain't even hesitate for me.
Yeah, I'm going Peter. Honestly, Peter Woods, but you'd almost
I
want to
wouldn't
get him
be
in the
surprised.
second.
I'll tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if they take that corner. I ain't gonna lie.
I hate they pull his hamstring. The talent's there. He is a good corner.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the hardest part about it. And now again, I wouldn't be shocked if they take him, but maybe not necessarily in the first. Let me tell you this: if he's there in the second, and they take him, we're gonna be upset.
No.
It depends on who's on the board, right?
Yeah. And I'll say this, though. I think the worst kept secret right now that the Panthers are going to do on draft night is they're going to trade in the second night. It ain't going to be night one, but the second day they're going to trade their second round pick and another pick to move up higher than where they're at in the second round. I think that's the worst kept secret. I think it's going to happen. Because I think they're going to have at least 2 guys that they truly, truly want. Right. They're gonna get one at 19, and they're gonna hope that whoever the second person that they like, if he's there, if he makes it to day 2, that they're gonna try to reach up and get. And I'd hope it's one of them linebackers.
Yeah, I do too. But if it's not a linebacker, then I want it to be
a good player.
It's a good player. You know, I can't argue with a good center.
Oh no,
I can't argue. Right, I can't argue with the secondary help. A lot of it's going to depend on what our first, if you take a corner in the first round pick, I don't see how you can take the corner in the second. So,
or a
he was
safety
the
for
best
that
player.
matter. I'd even say that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't take a
yeah,
safety in the second if I took a corner in the
right,
first.
right. Because there are still buzzes that Charles Smith Wade may still play some safety going forward. Uh, one never knows. I still don't think he
Well,
looks like a safety to me, but
it was Richardson who fell out of favor more than Chow Smith Wade did.
right.
And Richardson had
Absolutely.
multiple fumble recoveries last year, and Chow Smith Wade had a pick six. So
Right.
I don't think neither one of them played that bad, but still one fell out of favor for whatever
Right.
reason, which must be something
Well,
behind the scenes.
yeah, I think at the time they needed the roster spot, so they went with the guy who was the backup to the I guess you'd say the least used backup, the backup they could replace better, so to speak. You know, Chow Smith Wade was your starting nickel. We were short on corners last year anyway, so uh, due to the injury of
Corey Thornton, that broken
Corey
leg, yeah,
Thornton,
you're right.
right?
And man, he
But
was looking good.
if
He really
Corey
was.
would have if Corey would have stayed healthy, then I would say there was a strong chance that Chow Smith Wade would have been one cut. And that leads me into a good conversation. How does Corey Thornton secure a roster spot and steal a starting job this year?
It'd be beating out that nickel like you're talking about. And I'm all for Corey Thornton playing nickel, man. He had some good games for us last year when he got the opportunity to play. I mean, he really did, considering where we got him from. You know what I mean? Where he's coming
Right.
from. I mean, he,
Uh-huh.
he coached up real quick, and the other players even spoke out about how well he did in practice. And we even saw highlights of how well he was doing in practice. So, yeah, I'm a Corey Thornton stan at this point. And if we don't address it in the draft, I hope he wins it out afterwards in minicamp. And then it's
Right.
starting nickel, I mean. I just like his length and his way to jump up and challenge the ball when it's in the air. I mean, he's got a real knack for it. And that's a good thing to have as a corner to find that football. A lot of corners don't do it. They don't ever turn their head around, but Corey Thornton does it. He makes sure he locates the ball and does a good job.
And he was playing zone really good as a corner too. I mean, he just seems like he was always in the area, and he was making the play on the ball if it was thrown at him. He just reminds me of Ransom too, man. It seems like these guys just find a way to be around the ball.
Right. Yeah, like the defensive tackle they met with was Manzou's defensive tackle Chris McKellen. Uh, wasn't too bad of a guy. Uh, uh, himself. So I think we've got a good draft. I think they're going to get some good selection here. Uh, well, folks, I think that's all I've got today.
I think he did fantastic considering the lack of news for the Panthers.
Right. Right.
We
Absolutely.
had a couple of 30 visits to talk about, and the rest of it was things that we're noticing changing around here. And just kind of to close that out, what you began with this story. If I don't lag out, I'll try to get it out quick, Pickle. This Panthers team has moved on from so much, and I hope for you as a fan, when Cam came and he banged that keep pounding drum in the playoffs for us, I hope you were able to close a chapter in your life for the Panthers in a small kind of way, in a way we're kind of moving on and we're moving forward into the future. And I've been positioning myself and my takes for a couple of years now because we've never done a lot of these things that we're doing as a Panthers team, the offensive head coach, among other things. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to moving forward. Bryce Young's a different kind of quarterback. He's completely opposite of Cam Newton in a lot of ways. Doesn't mean he can't make plays with his legs, but they're just not the same person, and they never have been the same person. I'm here to cheer for Bryce Young in 2026. And thank you, Cam, for coming back to the bank and closing out that era for us in a lot of ways, Pickle. That's what I feel. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Jake. You got anything you want to add to that?
Nah, I just want to say it's we really are in a great direction right now, man, and I'm truly proud to be a Carolina Panther fan. I'm glad to be around, for this ride that we got going right now.
Right.
Keep pounding,
Uh,
y'all.
let's shout out the Raleigh Swarm for their title they won, and shout out to the Charlotte Hornets for making a playoff. Or they get ready to make a playoff spot.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're guaranteed to make at least the play in. They're just fighting
Right.
for the position in
Right.
the playoffs. But also shout to the Carolina Hurricanes. They clinched the playoff spot as well last week, I believe.
I see there's a lot of good things happen in the wonderful state of Carolina.
Look at me, you see my toil. Promises broken, our blood and oil. We started in darkness, 0 and 2, but the lighthouse kept burning, guiding us through. The doubters were loud, the critics were mean. Said this young team had no chance to dream, but we kept on pounding through the stormy night. Our lighthouse remains, these waves of light. Ships will sail